This week, I'm setting my sights yet again to the offshore banks south of the Isle of Wight for some big tope fishing. Along the way, I'll be on the lookout for some great mixed summer species fishing and even some surprise visitors. However, first stop was to set a trap for some lurking lobsters. Right, there's the pot. That's in. We'll leave that in to soak all day. We'll come back to it this afternoon on the way in, and hopefully we'll caught something. Next up was to find some fresh bait. I had some frozen mackerel on board, but you cannot beat fresh out the sea mackerel bait. So I whipped out the feathers and started hunting down the shoals. With those two jobs ticked off, all that was left to do was complete our 10-mile steam out to the chosen mark. Alright, hello and good morning. We are back out on the deep water banks south of Isle of Wight looking for tope and rays again. We've had a busy morning already. We set that pot, as you would have seen in the video. Hopefully we'll get some lobster and spider crab on the way back. And we've managed to pick up a few mackerel, fresh mackerel en route, which we've now got at the bottom of the ocean on a few rigs. So the traps are set. Let's see what we can find. Right, well, a quick bit about our approach today, and it's exactly the same as the last tope fishing video I did. So I've got on this rod, both of them are set up with tope rigs, which is obviously my main line, which I use about 60 pounds braid, to about 100 pound fluoro shock leader of about, I don't know, 6 or 7 foot long, and then a wire trace ending in a, I think it's either 6.0 or 8.0 meat hook. I think it's 8.0. Right, well, we've been at anchor for about an hour and a half now, and we've had one run. We had one bite, which did take the bait, but spat it straight away, so unfortunately no hookup. So we're going to lift anchor and try another mark about an hour away. A mile away, to see if we get any better luck there. We've only probably got another couple hours of being able to fish offshore until the winds pick up, and we'll probably need to head closer inshore to avoid some lumpy conditions. But yeah, we'll lift anchor, try over there and see if we can find the fish. Right, well, we just lifted anchor, and it probably was actually a good job that we did, because there's a massive cruise ship bearing down on us. Now, well, you can see that. Well, actually, I don't think it is a cruise ship, it might be some sort of cargo ship, but yeah, good job we're out of his way. So we're just going to drift those same rigs, so the same baits as before. Both the pods are set up, as I say, same baits, everything exactly as it was. But we're just going to allow the boat to drift along, and the baits sit underneath us. We're drifting at about 1.3 to 1.5 knots, which is a nice drift. We should cover some ground, and depending on how this drift goes, there is a wreck about a few miles downstream, down our drift route anyway, that we could end up on, and then maybe try some slow jigging over it. But yes, this is the plan now. Hopefully this fish is a little bit better than that anchorage did. Alright, I've just set up my float rig with a mackerel live bait. So if you can just about see that float bobbing around there. That is just, I mean, there's a lot of big bass around the Isle of Wight and across these kind of deeper marks as well. So that's just to see if we can pick one up. I'm hoping a shark or a tope doesn't find that, because this is a very small spinning rod, which is good fun for the bass and the mackerel and everything, but anything too big and it would be it'd be a fun story to tell if I did hook up into one. But yeah, so I've got 2 rigs out now. I've still got my squid and mackerel kind of like tote rigs out, and then we've got a live bait just to see if we can pick up anything on that. So we just had a there he is. Yeah, don't jig it.
I'm just trying to get the light back in.
We've got a little tope or a smooth, I'm not sure what it is, but it literally just follows this bait up, and now he's playing with it just underneath the boat. So there he is, look. I mean, does that count? We've got a fish at the side of the boat, but not technically landed. I thought I'd want to avoid the anything with teeth, and that live bait rig has just been cut right off through the braid, and I can see my float right there. So that mackerel got swallowed by something, probably a tope of some sort. But yeah, there's definitely fish here then, there's definitely fish. I need to try and retrieve that float, which is bobbing around. So there's my float, and I thought I had a drop back bite. So I went to strike it, and it kept just reeling in. There's nothing on the end of the line. It's been chopped straight off. Yeah. Not practiced our man overboard in a while. As minutes turned into hours, and with nothing yet to show for it, the nerves started to grow. It's never a good feeling to set off for a distant mark, whether on boat or shore, and not land your target. But fortunately, just as we were discussing heading back inshore, I heard the sound all anglers love, a running reel. Right, fish on, guys. Finally. This is on the squid bait. This is the whole squid. Your head shakes. Whatever it is, I think it's nothing of massive size. Yeah, a little soak. There we go. Target species finally after I think a couple hours on water. Not a great size one, but still a tope. It's what we came out here for. And there we go. Awesome. Right, let's get him back in. There he goes. Cool. The afternoon saw some forecasted onshore winds, which meant the sea state became lumpy. With the target species achieved, we headed inshore to see what else we could find on the lures, and were soon into some more fish. Yep. Yeah, well, jig and feathers, because I'm mackerel. Right, so a bit of an update. We've been doing quite a few drifts now, as you probably would have seen on feathers and slow jigs. Picked up the odd mackerel here and there, which is always good. Which we used a fair bit whilst tote fishing, so that'll go back to the freezer. And we're now just kind of down the side of Isle of Wight, just on some rough ground. We fished this area loads before, this kind of patch. Just seeing if we can't pick a thing up. But what we might do is we're very close to kind of her shingle, so we might do you got a fish? Yeah. Or a fish on here, so maybe we'll stay here for a little bit longer. But yeah, we might do a few drifts for some smoothies or something just over there in a minute. So yeah, the conditions did chop up a little bit with the wind, so it wasn't too comfortable or ideal to stay offshore like we were before. But we can still see out the afternoon inshore here and have some good fishing hopefully. The onshore winds meant for a very wet and windy steam back. A pilot house boat is definitely on the cards. Well, we're absolutely soaked from a drive back towards kind of Christchurch, back towards port, because the wind started to really whip up, and I mean I am drenched through. I mean we have got some waterproofs in there, but by the time I was wet it was too late, so I just thought I'll see it through. But then as we were going along, the wind just suddenly vanished. I mean, there's not a breath of wind now, which wasn't forecast. It was forecast to pick up and continue to pick up, but it's just gone, and the sea is just calming right out. So ideal. We'll carry on fishing. So we're actually going to we're kind of halfway back towards Christchurch way. If anyone knows the area, we've just passed Hordle Cliffs. These are Hordle Cliffs here. So we're thinking actually we've got some worm baits, squid baits left. we might do a few drifts here, fish this out, because we've still got a fair bit of time actually before we head up to get the pot and obviously check to see if we've got any crab or lobster. But yeah, really strange, and it's gone beautiful again, so we'll make the most of it. Right, so we've had a chance to dry off and we're now sat comfortable at anchor. There's still a little bit of wind around, but it's so much calmer and more manageable than it was before anyway. So we're just having a bit of a scratching around here, and we've already had a few scad and mackerel on the boat, just some feathers. And we've got some worm baits down and some squid baits down. If anyone knows the area, we're just past kind of Hordle Cliffs. So this is a kind of well-known ray mark, smooth downs, that kind of stuff can be caught here. So, you know, we're starting to, it's just what's 5:30 now, so starting to approach kind of dusk-ish, well, in a little while. We've got some good tide running through here, so hopefully we can pick someone up before we kind of go collect the pot and head back in. Right, there we go. A little bit of scratching around on the way back's paying off. Another species for the day. Always good to see. Tons of these around at the moment, of course, but a nice little bream. That was just on a bit of lugworm on a rig with some beads on as well. But I use some scratching rig. So there we go. Well, that one I'm gonna have to keep the camera on for the next time I drop the rod back into the water and after rebaiting, because this one touched the bottom. As soon as it touched the bottom, fish was on again. But another bream, and a really good size one actually. This one will be great for the pan if I wanted to keep them. I've actually got a few in the freezer, so I don't need any more. Not for now anyway. But yeah, really lovely bream and good fish. Good fishing bream, well, because they put up a right scrap for their size. There we go. Let's get back. Alright, there we go. We are definitely into the bream. It's definitely a bream up, but ooh, good fun as well.
He wants to come out with you.
He does. Yeah, there we go. Really good fun fighting fish. We've had probably 5 or 6 now, and they seem to come onto the bite every time you drop them down. A little bit of movement as it's going, as the hook's kind of landing, and they just take. But yeah, awesome. All we're doing really here is we just use a tiny scrap of worm, fairly old worm as well. It's nothing like amazing, nothing fresh, but they'll still take it. Just lowering it down. I'm actually using my place drifting rig that I typically use behind the boat when I'm drifting for flatties. But because of the visual attraction, it seems to do really well with the bream. And what I'm doing is feeding it down the bottom. I can feel the little tapping bites, and then when I can feel a proper jolt, when they've actually gone for the worm, I'll lift into it and get a fish. I definitely find as well movement is key with bream. They really go for the kind of visual attraction of the beads, and then kind of I'm slowly just kind of lifting it up and down. And I've definitely found that seems to entice the bite. And also with bream, because they can be very kind of finicky and kind of, you know, sometimes hard to hook up. When you feel the bite, you can kind of lift into it straight away, and you get a better chance of a hookup. Yep, there you go, fish. There we go, as easy as that. Ooh. Off he goes. There we go, one last bream for this mark. Oh, don't swipe me. There, one last bream. We've had at least double figures onto the boat. Not sure how many between us that we've caught. Definitely a fair few. This guy's going to go back, and then we're going to head back to the ledge where I put that crab pot this morning. Check that to see if we haven't caught anything. we might have a few goes with the lures and just kind of a bit of you know, a bit of a play around on the ledge, see if there's anything there. We might even put some squid jigs down actually, we were just saying. There's a fair bit of squid being caught along the south coast, so might have a look to see if we can get some of them. But yeah, let's go see what this pot's got for us. Head about to collect our pot, and there's some birds working the ledge. And the sea is alive with mackerel. Hopefully bass. I want to find some bass still. But we'll take these. Fishing. We've done 2 casts and 2 fish.
Oh my MG. Wow.
What we were ogling at then was the sounder showing a wall of fish. From seabed to the surface, it was just stuffed. And it soon became clear that we had a bit of a helping hand in corralling the fish. Birds everywhere, mackerel everywhere, and the dolphins have just appeared. I'll try and get them on camera. Right there, where the shoal, well, shoal all below us. Come up again. Look at that. Oh, they're coming towards us. With the dolphins eventually leaving us to it, we decided to go check on the pot as we were coming towards the end of the session. Right, this day's been full of surprises. Let's see if our pot has anything for us. Right. Let's see. It's not been touched. Oh well. Right, nothing to report in there. The bait's not even been touched, but a good little trial run of the pot. Not the end of the world. I don't know if you guys can see that discoloration in the water. That is all fish, and they are just busting the surface here. It is just alive. So we're about to head in after trying the pot, but I don't think we can. So we're going to chuck some of those in there. The sounder again. So much mackerel around, honestly, it's hard to kind of fish through them for the bass. We've not found any bass today, it's just all been mackerel. Before any smart ass says, yes, we've tried different lures and jigs, yes, we've gone deep with better jigs to try and get underneath the mackerel. It's been difficult to find them. Yeah. Oh, we've seen a bass, guys. Didn't land it, unfortunately, but we saw it. Okay, so we're starting to lose a bit of light and it's time to go in soon. But just want to get a bass to tick that off for the day because it's been frustrating to find one. But the birds are still working like crazy. There's tons of fish on the sounder. The dolphins are still circling us. So I think we can do it. I'm going to stick a Dexter wedge in for a few casts, hopefully get that bass. And then we can, I think, tick off a good day. Mackerel. And the mackerel. And the bass.
Yeah, that's true.
Tiny little bait, white bait. See, it's just a live bait fish, and there's just mackerel and bass somewhere amongst them, just eating it all up. "10 minutes till we're heading back in." Caught so many mackerel, lost count how many mackerel we've had, but still haven't been able to hook up to a bass. We had 5 species today, so it's not bad going. We've had obviously the tope, bream, with that tiny little pouting, or scaz, and of course mackerel. But it would be really nice to still finish on that bass. And they're definitely here, just trying to fish through the mackerel to find them. There we have a bass on the boat.
Yes. Nice
So
one.
that's 6 species on the boat at least. And we finally
Good old
found the bass.
Dexter's. He's alright, nice one.
Probably does.
Just keep, I'm not kidding, yeah, but he'd probably just keep. Thank you, mate. Thank you, bud. Brilliant.
So there we have it, 6 species landed, and between us managed to pluck that bass out eventually. It's still my goal to land a tope of at least 150 centimetres by the end of the season. So hit that subscribe button and keep your eyes peeled, as I'll be back out there at the very next weather window.